I wrote this Spider-Man screenplay back in 2013. At the time, Sony was getting bad press for releasing The Amazing Spider-Man. Fans were outraged that a new trilogy was rebooted less than a decade after the beloved Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire films. But as we all learned together, Sony did this because they had to utilize the intellectual property of Spider-Man within a certain amount of years. Otherwise, the rights would be forfeited back to Marvel. I wrote the perfect script for that situation. Is it the perfect Spider-Man script? Far from it. But it is the perfect script for Sony to stop the bleeding and fix their reputation with comic book fans. Since 2013, Sony has retained the rights to Spider-Man and his various band of recurring characters, but unfortunately, they have allowed Marvel to borrow Spider-Man and utilize him more effectively in their cinematic universe. Sony has attempted features like Venom and Madam Web, but have made fools of themselves at the box office, and in the response from fans and critics. Sony, you guys should have bought my script. Here is my pitch. What if Sony created a film about Spider-Man that was completely different? A low-budget movie with only one purpose in mind: to buy some time. Eventually, I decided to draw my script and turn the script into a comic book. I couldn't get anyone to read my script, so I figured a comic book would be more digestible. I was wrong. But it was a fun project. I learned a lot of fun things, and I learned a lot of lessons the hard way, but ultimately, I'm proud of the result. I formatted the comic for the web and then for scrolling on the phone, but I still couldn't get anyone to read it. So today, my last attempt, I'm going to read the script, film the comic, and hopefully make a video that you think is fun. I'll try to remember and point out all the weird Easter eggs I included in the comic. Okay, so here it is. Here's my story. There are real people on Hollywood Boulevard who dress up like famous characters. Tourists pay them to spice up their travel photos. There is a man on the corner of Hollywood and Orange who has been portraying Spider-Man for years. He's probably in one of your friends' family's photos. Unfortunately, all of these Sony movies have inspired a lot of competition for him. Now when you walk down Hollywood Boulevard, it seems like the place is crawling with Spider-Man. This project is dedicated to the OG, posted up on Hollywood and Orange. Sony, there's still time to buy this script, but after thinking about it, I don't want the money. You should give it to this guy, Spider-Man, whoever he is. Fade in through white. Exterior. Hollywood Hills. Skyline shot. Golden hour. As we fade in, presumably through smog, we can see the recognizable letters of the Hollywood sign. They are worn with age. Hollywood has seen better days. Tourists litter the street of Hollywood. Most of them are stationary, spinning in place, undecided at what techie marvel to photograph next. The scene is chaos. We follow the movement of the thug lurking in the crowd. He walks perfectly in sync with his victim, dodging the cluster of morons clogging the way. The victim blabbers at his fat family while sliding an expensive bag off his shoulder, reaching for his camera. Hey, wait, help! The thug absconds with his expensive bag and all its contents. The crowd is too much. The scene is too vibrant. The fat mounted horse cops quickly lose sight of the thug. An assembly of shoddy superheroes gets shoved apart as the thug blows by them. They look at one another and scoff. Once upon a time they ruled these streets. Now they seem to go unnoticed, blending into the background with the rest of the animated clutter of Hollywood Boulevard. The camera begins to zoom behind them, focusing on something. It is a beige 80s limousine parked on the corner. We zoom all the way to the for sale sign in the window. Months pass by on the corner, but the limousine never moves. We see palm trees swaying wildly with the passage of time. The hot LA sun bobs up and down. We see tourists streak across the street. Time blurs by, and the limo stays unchanged. Occasionally, a Spider-Man poses on the newspaper dispensers on the corner. Exterior, Hollywood Boulevard, civil twilight. We see Spider-Man hanging upside down in a classic pose via a rope attached to the streetlight. A tourist family snaps photos of their kids snuggling up to their favorite web crawler. The husband throws some cash into a spider-shaped piggy bank behind Spider-Man. After the family leaves him, Spider-Man dangles upside down alone. Hollywood Boulevard, Spider-Man upside down POV. The streets are thinning out for the night. Spider-Man dismounts and pulls out a cigarette. He pulls off his mask and begins to smoke. We see the man behind the mask is very weathered, almost unhygienic. Spider-Man labors to bend over to collect his things. It has been a long day. He ties the rope to the pole and heads around the corner. Exterior, Orange Boulevard, civil twilight. Spider-Man drags his luggage behind him, stopping at the familiar beige limousine. He unlocks the vehicle and lumbers inside. Spider-Man removes his stank costume and tosses it towards the front of his 1981 Chrysler Imperial. This is clearly a regular practice, as the coach of the vehicle is spoiled with junk. Spider-Man enjoys a cigarette in his underwear, resting his forehead on the cold, tinted glass. He brings his pager to eye level and notices he has one new page. He stubs out the cig and puts on his civvies. His clothing parodies Peter Parker's always outfit from the Fox animated cartoon, a magenta-colored shirt, heavily washed-out jeans, and a dark gray sports blazer rolled at the sleeves. Spider-Man bops down Hollywood and into a crummy pizza joint. The cashier gives Spider-Man a salute. The usual? Spider-Man flips him a nod of agreement and heads for the payphone. The cashier asks, "Got a bite?" Spider-Man says, "We'll see." Spider-Man studies his beeper and then inserts some coins into the payphone. He dials and waits. Spider-Man asks, "I got a page from this number. So? Maybe it's about my car?" "You the limo guy?" "Yep, that's me." "How come you don't have any pictures?" "I don't have access to a camera, but I got it parked in a pretty central location if you want to check it out." "Where you at?" "In Hollywood." "Hollywood? What is this, a scam? You think I'm falling for that kind of—" "Maybe I can drive it over to your house." "Hello? Hello?" Spider-Man hangs up the phone and walks over to the bar. The pizza slides over to him just as he sits down. He takes a bite and is quickly scalded by the hot cheese, just like every time. Damn it! Spider-Man reverses his breath in short bursts to cool his mouth. Why is your pizza always so damn hot? Spider-Man is more exasperated about his routine than his burnt mouth. Exterior, Kingpin's bowling alley at night. We see an owl hooting above the dead neon B of the sign. An older bald man sprays bacteria killer into shoes and then polishes them from behind the counter. He has owned and maintained these ramshackle lanes for 17 years. This is the Kingpin. A pair of men, dressed in suits too fancy to bowl in, gate by the desk without paying Kingpin any mind or any money. Kingpin surveys his territory. From left to right, Kingpin sees a small group of teens smoking, a couple making out, a group of regulars practicing for league night, and finally, a large collection of men gathering by the dartboard. Kingpin winces. He almost feels embarrassed for not noticing them earlier. He ponders about confronting them. I mean, none of them are even wearing the proper shoes. A jingle from inside of Kingpin's pants saves him from the hassles of bravery. He scans his cell phone. It is his wife calling. "Hey, honey."
"Hi, Wilson. How was work?"
Looks like things are heating up."
"What?"
"Never mind, honey. What's up?"
"It is summer break. Did you know it was summer break?"
"No, why?"
"Curtis hasn't been in school for a week. I didn't even know. I just thought he was at school."
"Where is he?"
"I sent him to you."
"What? You what?"
"I don't know where he's been going all week. He won't tell me. He needs somewhere to be. He needs a job. Don't you think it is about time he learns how to work with his dad?"
"Honey, you know Hollywood isn't really the best environment for our son."
"Well, at least we would know where he is, right?"
"I don't know."
"Just give it a shot."
Kingpin notices something troubling off in the distance. "Sure, I gotta go."
"Love you."
Kingpin didn't hear the tender goodbye. He was busy walking out of frame. Kingpin struts over to the suited men, who are now shoving one another. "Is there a problem here?"
"Vamos, Pallone." "No problem here, boss."
The arguing men relinquish one another. Thug 2 smiles at the old man. "You guys gonna bowl?"
"I'll eat you out of a bowl. Not today, boss. Can't you see we're having a meeting?"
The elderly Kingpin stares furious, struggling for the best response.
"Hey, mister, why don't you head back over to your little desk over there?"
"Yeah, you got a customer."
Kingpin looks over his shoulder to see his son Curtis watching him from afar. "I'll be right back." The men continue their argument as Kingpin storms towards the frame. Curtis looks a bit shabby outside of his school uniform. He sports a spiked hairdo, a girly choker necklace, and a stupid shirt. "Geez, Kurt, I hardly recognized you."
"Ah, come on, Dad."
Curtis looks back at the door. "I was just kidding. It's good to see you." Curtis gives a nod. "You interested in earning some money?" That caught Curtis's attention. He returns his eyes to meet his father's.
"What do I gotta do?"
"You can start by helping me clean all the rest of the shoes." Curtis sighs but follows his dad behind the desk. Money is money. "So first, take as many as you can, and we round them all up." Kingpin leads by example. His fingers are dripping with pairs of shoes. Curtis manages to palm just one. "Then we spray them all down at once." A loud shout steals Kingpin's attention away from his son. The thugs are back at it. "Do as I showed you. I'll be right back." Kingpin stomps over to intercept the confrontation, but suddenly halts. One of the thugs has brandished a handgun. Interior, Kingpin's bowling alley, the front door. Spider-Man and his fat friend, a clean and not greened Hulk, walk through the door. They carry their matching bags. It is Thursday night. League night practice. Spider-Man stops short, extending an arm to prevent his friend from going any further. A friend of Spider-Man and Hulk is warning the men with a wave. Kingpin is on his knees with his hands up. So are a few other men in suits. A gang of well-dressed men taunts them all.
We should do something.
Spider-Man turns to leave. Yeah, get out while the getting is good.
Don't be chicken.
Don't be stupid. You're fatter than you are incredible, believe me. The Hulk grabs to stop Spider-Man.
What if we pull the fire alarm?
You do it. Kingpin turns around and stares into the eyes of the Hulk with a look that clearly said one thing. Help. Hulk opts for the color yellow over his usual green and slowly backs out of the alley.
I said, shut up or I'll blow your head off.
You better, because if you don't, I'll scalp you. All of you.
He said, shut it. We're in charge now, you hear?
A kneeling thug whips out a pistol and fires. This causes a chain reaction of gangsters shooting gangsters. Kingpin dives to the floor. The man who warned Spider-Man and Hulk is killed. Kingpin cowers to the ground. The flashes from the guns are too much. He lays shivering on the floor until the gunfire dies off. Nearly all of the men lay dead or dying. Kingpin staggers to his feet and runs to the service desk.
Curtis! Curtis!
He holds his lifeless son to his chest, absorbing blood into his gold bowling shirt. His crying is eventually interrupted by the moans of agony. Kingpin rises, dizzy. The moans are making him sick. He balls his fist, clenching in anger. A thug reaches up for help. Kingpin rushes to the man, then bends over and retrieves a large pistol from the blood-soaked floor. Kingpin puts the kneeling thug out of his misery, and another, and another. Kingpin swings the gun to face 3 lackeys, a trio of boys who wish their entire lives to be gangsters, well, up until this very moment.
Don't shoot. We don't have guns.
Why not?
We're too young.
Kingpin looks back at his son. Too young? His face has changed when he faces the lackeys again.
You're never too young for anything, boys. Now hurry up. Grab a gun.
Exterior, Hollywood Hills, skyline shot, morning. The Hollywood sign hangs in the dust of the Hollywood Hills. The streets are infested with tourists. Camera flashes mock the sun above, illuminating the chubby cheeks of every human cluster. Exterior, Hollywood Boulevard, cafe. Spider-Man and Hulk carry paper cups of coffee down the boulevard. Hulk is covered in green paint, shaded in some areas to give the appearance of muscle. God damn it, there is another one. We see a futuristic Spider-Man, wearing a dark blue costume with sinister red accents, including red forearm blades. It wields yo-yos in both hands, swinging them around in a wild fury. Spider-Man doesn't even yo-yo.
That one does.
Sooner or later, this whole damn street will be crawling with other Spider-Men. A posse of amazing Spider-Man talk in a circle, laughing. One wears a black symbiote costume. One wears a high-tech costume resembling the one Tobey Maguire made famous. One wears a Scarlet Spider-Man costume. Last, and certainly least, one wears a costume that resembles pajamas. The group of Spider-Men wave over to Spider-Man and Hulk. Spider-Man returns their gesture by flipping them the bird.
Maybe you ought to come up with something else.
No way, I was the first one here.
You should think about it.
Easy for you to say. No one is fat enough to come steal your gig.
All right, well, I'll see you later.
The Hulk shrugs away. Exterior, Spider-Man's corner. A series of stupefied tourists stumble over for a few pictures with Spider-Man. They say their goodbyes and toss their money into Spider-Man's coin collector. Spider-Man dangles upside down, alone. Exterior, Spider-Man's upside down POV. A shambled-looking SpongeBob creeps up to Spider-Man. His voice is a lot more grizzled than one would expect from the lovable cartoon character.
Hey, yo, Spidey. You hear how they done Thor?
What's that?
Thor. He dead.
Spider-Man dismounts from his rope. Thor? You mean Kirby? Kirby is dead?
Yeah, man, I'm trying to tell you. Kirby, he dead.
But I saw him last night.
You saw him last night?
Yeah, at the bowling alley.
Oh, man, you lucked out, bruh. Got out when the getting was good.
Shit.
Everybody in that place was shot to bits. Thor got his full head blown off.
If you're going to continue playing town crier on this one, you may want to be a little more sensitive about the subject of death.
What for?
Because you're a cartoon.
Aw, hell, you ain't heard nothing yet.
Good, get out of here.
Aw, come on.
Get out of here.
Check it. You think God is gonna be pissed at him for pretending he was a god down here?
Do you ever think of how funny it is you walk around showing off that you're a sponge?
Man, forget you.
SpongeBob storms off to spread the news down the road. Spider-Man tries to recollect his thoughts. Door. He couldn't believe it. The scene replays in his mind a few times. Flashback. Interior. Kingpin's bowling alley. Across the alley. A gang of suited thugs seems to be robbing the place. Thor sees Spider-Man and Hulk and warns the men with a wave. Spider-Man can't believe it. Could he have done something? A thief observes Spider-Man's mind is elsewhere and springs into action, stealing his bag of busking money. A foreign child tries to alert Spider-Man to the crime with a tug at the hand. Ah, bug off, kid. The child points at a running man. Spider-Man sees his spider-faced bag moving in the crowd. Like a reflex, he looks at the ground where it should be, and it isn't there. The camera zooms into the eyes of Spider-Man's mask. After a pause, he dashes towards the frame. Exterior, Hollywood Boulevard, tracking shot. Spider-Man expertly weaves through the crowd, stalking his bag. To avoid a constellation of people, he jumps up onto the newsstands and across some kiosks, pouncing on his victim from above. Spider-Man's weight drives the criminal into the cement. This causes quite the spectacle. As Spider-Man gets off his attacker, he is being filmed from every direction. He gives the cameras the thumbs up. Interior, Channel 4 News, on TV. News anchor, Sally Floyd.
First tonight, we had to start with this video because apparently it is everywhere. It was uploaded on YouTube earlier today and already has 100 million views across the world. What you are about to see is a real-life superhero.
News anchor Ben Urich.
That's right, Sally. It looks like something out of a comic book. When a theft broke out today on Hollywood Boulevard, it was Spider-Man to the rescue.
A clip of Spider-Man plays. It shows him running along the tops of the newspaper stands, ascending up across the kiosks, and then into a wild dive on the thief.
It was a normal day on Hollywood Boulevard. The tourists were out and so of course were the criminals. Although as you're about to see, there is a new hero in town.
Spider-Man gives them a thumbs up.
That's right, Spider-Man.
We are now going live to Robbie Robertson on the streets of Hollywood. Robbie?
A crummy local news graphic star wipes across the screen. Exterior, Hollywood Boulevard, on TV. Robbie Robertson stands in frame next to the completely different Spider-Man from the one in the clip. It is the Yo-Yo Spider-Man. That's right, Ben. I'm here with someone I'm sure everyone at home will recognize. It's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Whoa, Oz, you better be filming this.
Now, Spider-Man, what caused your heroic efforts today? Robbie tries to hold the mic to where Spider-Man's mouth should be, but the Yo-Yo Spider-Man bats it away and goes about an elaborate yo-yo trick.
Yo, I'm bringing yo-yos back.
Yes, but what about today?
Follow me at MJ Watson on Twitter and on YouTube.
Ben and Sally look unprepared to be on camera. The segment was cut short.
Well, thanks, Robbie.
I didn't even know they allowed those people to talk.
You're thinking of Disneyland, Ben.
Exterior, Parker's Pizza, establishing shot. Spider-Man, dressed in his plain clothes, walks into the restaurant. As usual, Spider-Man heads straight for the payphone, but stops when the cashier waves him over. Hey, it's the Hollywood Big Shot. Huh?
You're on TV.
Really?
Yeah, well, sort of. They showed you stopping a mugger, but then they interviewed some yo-yo guy.
Damn it.
Tonight is On the House.
Spider-Man nods at the offer and walks over to the payphone. The dial tone hums as Spider-Man stares at the number on his pager. Somehow, the number looks familiar.
Hello?
Jonah?
Is that really you? I didn't think you would call.
No, I mean...
It's okay. I'm just happy you did. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. How have you been?
I'm doing well. The company is doing well too. We've been growing.
Glad to hear it.
You still got the Imperial?
Spider-Man hesitates. Yeah, he still has the Imperial. He wonders what Jonah would think if he found out he was living in the damn thing. Yep, I still got her, but she's collecting dust.
Well, if you want to put those skills to good use, I could use another driver.
I don't know about that. I've been thinking about selling it, actually.
Just think about it. In fact, you should stop by sometime. You'd never believe it's the same building. It'd be nice to see you. How about it?
Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll swing by sometime. Before Jonah could re-emphasize his enthusiasm, Spider-Man hung up. Spider-Man trod to the bar, a plate of pizza slides to meet him. Damn it! Spider-Man reverses his breath in short bursts to cool his mouth. Why is your pizza always so damn hot?
Because I make it fresh for you, you asshole. Then, I gave it to you for free. How can you get mad about something like that?
It always burns my damn mouth.
Well, wait a minute and blow on it like a normal person.
Normal people don't blow pizza.
Well, maybe you ought to take up saying grace. Anything. I don't know. How is it my fault you dive into it like a jackal? You're like an animal. You know that?
It's because I'm hungry. I'm broke and I'm hungry. Exterior, a church, establishing shot. Night. We see a wonderfully ornate church on a busy metropolitan street. A few Jesus statues cling to the facade like wall crawlers. Interior,
A church, low, waist down. A man dressed in a shiny gold suit walks into the church. His dress shirt is crimson. His thick fingers drip in and out of the holy water, extinguishing a wall full of burning candles with a flick of his wrist. This man is the kingpin. A group of thugs converse over their business. They hold their meetings under the safety of the nearly empty church. They are very comfortable, for now. Interior, a church behind the pews. The kingpin slaps one of the talking thugs in the head with a wet hand. The thug jerks to wipe the holy sting residue off his skin. What the fuck? Some nuns turn to face the exclamation. Calm down. Oh, so you must be the leader. What? Hell no. We don't take orders from anybody. The hat thug removes a pistol from his coat. The mustached thug leans over, urging to keep it concealed. That's your problem. You don't have a leader. You guys are nothing but a mess. Fuck you. If you don't have any order, then what makes you any different from every other gang out there? Who are you really fighting against? Who the hell do you think you are? Call me the Kingpin. The thugs laugh. Where is your backup? Stroking his gun. This right here, buddy. The thugs laugh again. Who is going to tell you everything is going to be all right? I've had about enough of this guy. The kingpin lunges forward over the pew. He grabs the hat thug by the face and crushes him with his bare hands. The thugs repel and grimace at the sound and sight. You need a leader because without one of you, you're no better than a headless chicken. The crushed thug spasms in front of his silent friends. You boys need some purpose, something, someone to unite you. Otherwise, you'll all die alone. The three lackeys from earlier now tote old-school Tommy guns. They surround the thugs. Don't worry, boys. I see your true potential. The kingpin's arms wide open pose is silhouetted perfectly by the stained glass cross behind him. Follow me. Exterior, Hollywood Hills. A time-lapse shows the sun rising, illuminating the Hollywood Hills. Maybe today is the day the sun finally burns this whole place up. Exterior, Hollywood Boulevard. Spider-Man exits his limo and costume. Another day, another dollar. As he rounds the corner to his spot, tourists suddenly surround him. They've been waiting for him. They call out his name while the cameras try to blind him. Spider-Man recoils. He wasn't ready for this.
Spider-Man! Spider-Man!
Spider-Man, do you have any superpowers?
Spider-Man, sign my shirt!
Calm down, everybody. I haven't even had my morning coffee yet.
Want my coffee, Spider-Man?
Are you done stalling? Show us what you can do. Spider-Man turns to face the man. Do?
Come on, Spider-Man, show 'em!
Show them? Spider-Man faces the crowd. There is no such thing as superpowers, you idiots.
Ah, come on, Mac. I can't go back to the station without nothing.
Surely you can do something. I can do plenty.
Prove it! I just need 5 minutes, Spider-Man, for tonight's lead.
You want something for the cameras? Well then, if you can keep up, I got something for you. As Spider-Man leads them away, only a few members trickle away and follow. When Spider-Man looks over his shoulder, he is disappointed by the crowd's hesitation. Spider-Man breaks away from them in a full sprint. After a moment's pause, the entire crowd pursues after him. Exterior, public park. In the distance, the crowd can be seen chasing the familiar red and blue colors streaking through the park. Exterior, basketball court, establishing shot. After a flashy layup, Player 1 stops his boasting to realize that Player 2 is gawking off camera. Player 1 attempts to get Player 2's attention by waving in front of his face, but he too freezes, just like his distracted friend, when he sees what's coming their way. Exterior, bleachers. Several onlookers huddled in the bleachers spin around to check out what the players are preoccupied with.
That's him! He's back! What? The Spider-Man! I told you! What?
Exterior, basketball court. Spider-Man jogs onto the asphalt and steals the ball, interrupting a discussion the 10 players on the court were just having. They can't believe their eyes.
What the hell, man?
Hunched, catching his breath. Give me a second, guy. I ran all the way here.
From where?
The more athletic members of the crowd from Hollywood slowly filter in. They begin to surround the fence and around the court and fill the stands. Never mind that. 1-on-1 with me. You gotta win if you want your ball back.
Oh, hell no.
Chicken?
No.
Spider-Man catches Player 1 off guard with a hard pass. Then you're first. Check. The other guys head for the sidelines, excited to see what this is all about. One of the camera crews comes in late. They are clearly exhausted. The fat cameraman wheezes, and the tiny reporter clacks slowly behind in her huge heels. Player 1 tosses the ball back to Spider-Man. As soon as Spider-Man catches it, he goes up for a three-pointer. Perfect jump shooting form. Nothing but net.
Let's go, Spider-Man!
People continue to fill in the empty spots in the bleachers. The crowd continues to grow. Player 1 retrieves the ball and makes sure to get into better defensive positioning before checking the ball. Give me a break, man. I'm still trying to catch my breath. Spider-Man's emotionless mask stares back at his opponent. His shoulders flex to imitate the huffs and breaths he is pretending to take. In reality, he is studying his prey before he strikes. Come on! Player 1 goes for the steal. He has had enough. Spider-Man drives right at full speed. The rash decision of Player 1 has created the perfect lane to the basket. Player 1 catches his mistake and gives it his all to retain his cover on Spider-Man. Instead, Spider-Man jerks back with a crossover dribble. Player 1 can't stop himself from his insane momentum. He stumbles over his own legs as his top half still tries to play defense. With his opponent crumpled beneath him, Spider-Man casually steps towards the basket and shoots a shot right under the basket. Perfect bank shot. So, I think we should play to 7. I think your friends over there want to turn. Exterior, the fence. Inside the court, the next 9 players look nervous. Outside the court, cameras are setting up and the crowd is applauding. Spider-Man takes it back up top. So that 3 I shot at the beginning, are we counting those as 1 or 2? 3's a 2! Spider-Man sends a hard pass to Player 1. Check. Again, as soon as Spider-Man catches it, he goes up for a 3-pointer in perfect jump shooting form. Nothing but net. So what's that, 5-0? Player 1 creeps nearer. He is determined to prevent Spider-Man from driving on him. He squats in wait and returns the check. Shut up! Spider-Man quickly pops another 3. Swish. To the sidelines, not acknowledging Player 1. Who's next? The gang looks to the tallest member, Player 2. He sees his friend's eyes are on him. He accepts the challenge. I got this. When Player 2 meets Spider-Man on the court, the height difference becomes immediate. If it were past noon, Player 2 would be casting a shadow on Spider-Man right about now. Spider-Man isn't fazed. When Player 2 returns his check, Spider-Man pumps for a jump shot, sending Player 2 to uncoil early, and Spider-Man drives around the leaping giant and straight for the hoop. Spider-Man launches into a hammering dunk. The crowd loses their minds. Player 2 doesn't like this one bit. He aggressively passes the ball back when it is his time to check. Spider-Man goes into a quick drive, showcasing his dribbling skills. Player 2 rides up on Spider-Man, giving him no room. So Spider-Man makes some. From his post stance, Spider-Man swings the ball over his defender's head and shoulders. He holds out his empty hands for Player 2 to witness. Player 2 spins around for the rebound, but he is a moment too slow. The ball has bounced off the backboard and back into the hands of Spider-Man, who now dunks over the back of the giant Player 2. Exterior, the bleachers. 2 reporters high-five. Spider-Man extends a helping hand to his fallen opponent. Begrudgingly, Player 2 accepts, but falls again when Spider-Man slides his hand back, slicking his imaginary pompadour. Player 2 smashes his fists into the ground. When they are face-to-face again at the top of the key, Player 2 spits. Spider-Man quickly tries to get around the big man. But this time, Player 2 intends on sending a message, attempting a hard foul. However, Spider-Man quickly jumps over the attack and makes an uncontested layup. Careful now, you don't want to get beat twice if you catch my meaning.
I've had about enough of you.
That's true, it's 3-0, check. Player 2 returns the ball. Spider-Man nets another 3. That's 5-0. Don't worry, you're almost done. Player 2 charges Spider-Man. It doesn't look like he intends on playing defense anymore. Spider-Man dribbles behind his back and away from his attacker. He uses a crossover to stumble Player 2, and then throws the ball off his face, which bounces right back into the palms of Spider-Man. With his attacker dazed, Spider-Man becomes the hunter. He takes a bound backwards and then bursts into a full sprint, right up the chest of Player 2. His giant frame supplies Spider-Man a ladder from the free throw line to the basket, slamming home one of the most epic dunks this court has ever and will ever see. Exterior, the bleachers. The dunk causes the crowd to erupt. Everyone goes wild. The 9 players are sick of Spider-Man and his antics. They rush the court to shoo him off. Exterior, basketball court, full court. Spider-Man sees the oncoming ambush and hightails it in the opposite direction. Some of the players help their leader to his feet. The others continue to pursue Spider-Man in a mock chase, hoping to recover at least a sliver of their machismo back. Exterior, the Hollywood streets. Spider-Man jogs out of the park and back into the thick of Hollywood. Despite his costume, he is able to easily disappear into the crowd of weirdos. As Spider-Man retreats back to the safety of his corner, something on the road catches his eye, as if his spider sense was triggered. Spider-Man double-takes. His vision goes into slow motion. His adrenaline was flowing before his mind could even process what he was staring at. His Imperial is being towed away. Not again. Exterior, Hollywood Boulevard. The tow truck drags his limo off frame. It takes Spider-Man a few seconds to react. His brain is racing too fast to make a plan. Instead, he does what he always does. Runs in head first. Exterior, the street, tracking shot. Spider-Man chases the tow truck. He runs with a sense of purpose. After all, it is more than a limo. It is his home. Everything he owns is in there. Luckily for Spider-Man, LA's notorious traffic slows the tow truck enough that Spider-Man can hop aboard. Bewildered tourists point at Spider-Man hanging out on the back of the vehicle. A few snap some pictures. Their friends at home will never believe this. Exterior, the limo. Spider-Man climbs up the roof of the limo and proceeds towards the front, balancing carefully. The tow truck takes a sharp turn and causes Spider-Man to tumble across the roof and off the side, but Spider-Man hangs on. Exterior, the tow truck. Something hanging off the back of his bounty catches the tow truck driver's eye. It looks like a Spider-Man. When he does a double take, the masked man is gone. The driver rubs his eyes in confusion. It has been a long week. Spider-Man hangs onto the back of the limo, gripping the metal boomerang-shaped antenna on the back. He gathers his courage and makes another go for it. As the tow truck weaves its way through LA traffic, Spider-Man surfs on top of the limo, inching his way to the hook that holds his car aloft. The driver checks his mirror again, and this time he sees it. It is a Spider-Man, but it is too late. Spider-Man disengages the tow hook, setting his limo free and into a violent flop. The abrupt stop sends Spider-Man flying off the limo and into the asphalt. The wave of relief from saving his home outweighs the pain of tumbling. Spider-Man dusts himself off and runs to the driver's side. He hops in and starts the vehicle. Fires up like a charm, but something isn't right. There is a grinding sound and the car is shaking violently. Spider-Man's short victory is quickly ruined by this sound. Once he is a few blocks away and a safe distance from the tow truck driver, Spider-Man pulls over to check his laboring car. Steam under the hood indicates something is indeed broken. Spider-Man kicks the fender. The problem is above his knowledge. Eventually, he sulks towards a payphone. Spider-Man lifts the mask off his chin to reveal his mouth. He waits for an answer on the other end.
Hello?
Hey, Jonah, it's me.
Hey, kid. Sounds like you're catching a bug.
No, I'm all right. Anyway, I was calling to see if you were at the station. I was thinking about dropping by.
Yep, been here all day. You should swing by.
Great. I'll see if the old Imperial will fire up.
Sounds great. See you soon?
Yeah, I'll head over now. Spider-Man hangs up. His mask is still rolled to his nose. He inserts a cigarette and inhales his problems. Exterior, burning bank, establishing shot. The trio of laughing lackeys flees from a scorching bank, trailing a rain of loose money behind them. They hop into their van and peel away from the scene. Interior, lackey's van. The Kingpin is sitting shotgun. He surveys his boy's handiwork. You've burned some of the money.
Sorry, boss.
The Kingpin reignites a scorched $100 bill with his gold Zippo. No matter. There will be more. Kingpin uses the burning currency to light his cigar. Exterior, Los Angeles streets, bird's eye tracking shot. The van swerves erratically down the street. The combination of wind and speed causes a steady leak of bills pluming out the window. It seems the van has no real agenda until it suddenly halts. Exterior, Camp Firearm. The title of the store is in giant red letters that hang above the windows. A small arsenal of weaponry is displayed in the window boxes between the front door. As the lackeys exit the vehicle, Kingpin leans out the passenger window to give them a reminder. Now, boys, make sure to grab enough for all of our new friends. Interior, Camp Firearm. The lackey carry the money approaching the shopkeep. The other two horse around with the guns on display. The two briefcases of money shatter through a display case, opening to reveal hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Damn it!
Damn it, calm down. Why are you so mad?
You broke my case.
So what? Yeah, what do you love, glass or something? Lackey 3 is aiming an empty hunting rifle at the shopkeep, repeatedly dry-firing the gun over and over. He maintains this menacing gesture throughout the ordeal, whether on screen or not.
You know how much this is gonna cost me?
Lackey 1 flips the stacks of cash out of the briefcases, stuffing a few in the shopkeeper's shirt pocket. Here's your money. You know how much this is?
How much?
It is a lot.
Double that.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
What's it all for?
All of it.
Everything.
Lackey 2 begins to throw the guns in a pile.
Hey now, you're gonna need permits.
Lackey 2 halts and gives his counterparts a look of disgust. They share a nod.
Permits? You know we could just take them from you, right? We're trying to do you a favor.
Lackey 3 unloads clip after invisible clip into the shopkeep.
Go ahead.
Lackey 2 throws a box of bullets to Lackey 3, then resumes his work. Lackey 3 begins to load his rifle. Lackey 1 stares at the shopkeep. Well,
What?
You gonna give us a receipt?
All three burst into laughter.
Give me that shirt.
My shirt?
All three burst into laughter again.
We said everything.
The shopkeep disrobes and hands over his shirt. Lackey 2 has nearly completed stripping the store. Lackey 3 has finished loading his rifle and re-aims at the shopkeep.
I'm gonna need the pants too.
My pants?
Lackey 3 opens fire into the wall directly behind the shopkeep until the gun is empty. He continues to click despite the fact there are no more bullets. Exterior, Camp Firearms. Flames engulf everything in the store. The two windows are now full of creeping fire, tickling upwards to obscure the words camp and arms, framing fire. The trio of lackeys emerge from the flames with bundles of guns and gadgets. They hop in the van and peel away. The shopkeep exits shortly after them, carrying the 2 suitcases awkwardly over his front, straining from his improper lifting technique. Police cars arrive on the scene too late. The shopkeep reveals to the audience he is completely nude. Exterior: Jameson Exquisite Travel Service. Spider-Man's limo clunks up to the entrance of Jonah's. Wow, sure looks a whole lot nicer since Spider-Man worked here. The facade is no longer crumbling. The railings are no longer grimy. Homeless men are no longer melting off the stairs. Spider-Man takes it all in. Interior: Jets, the Fleet Garage. Spider-Man navigates his way through the familiar building. The Fleet Garage seems empty. Hello? Jonah pops up from beneath a town car, wiping the grease off his hands.
Take a look at you.
Spider-Man seems apprehensive. Jonah bridges the gap by coming in for a hug.
It is so good to see you. How have you been?
Spider-Man doesn't hear him. His full attention is on a blown-up photo hanging from the wall. Jonah notices.
Hey, come here.
Jonah squeezes Spider-Man. This snaps Spider-Man out of his daydream.
So, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been between jobs, actually.
Sorry to hear that.
You were right. I can't believe this is the same place. Jonah laughs, backing away. He holds his hand above his head like he can't believe it either. I mean, the whole neighborhood looks nicer.
Yeah, it took a lot of time, but our community stayed together. Eventually, when the cops saw what a difference we were making, they started to give a shit again. After a while, the business was doing what I always dreamed it could. Richer tourists came here now because it's safe. People can actually afford drivers again.
That is really amazing. I mean, I remember the old dispatch office used to be right there. Spider-Man points to a nice wall with a well-stocked communal kitchen, some nice sofas in front of a TV, and a basketball hoop. Jonah laughs.
I retired that old shack the day I fell through the floor of it and on top of Aunt May.
Aunt May, how's she doing? Does she still ride co-pilot?
No. She was also retired that day, but she's doing well.
I brought the Imperial. It started up fine, but it made a hell of a noise on the drive over here.
You should bring it in. We can take a look at it.
Spider-Man heads off to retrieve his broken vehicle. After he exits, Jonah turns his eyes to the photo of his daughter Gwen and sighs. It is slightly noticeable that there was another person in the photo, but that person was cut out when the photo was blown up for the frame that it is in. Interior: Repair Bay. Spider-Man parks on the risers. When he is out of the car, they loft the limousine above their heads to get a better angle on their inspection. Jonah notices the problem right away.
Well, for starters, you got a broken axle. I'm surprised you even made it here.
Broken axle, just his luck. Spider-Man resists cursing. Well, maybe it's a sign. Any chance you want to buy her back?
Nonsense. I can fix this up, no problem.
Jonah begins to lower the vehicle. Jonah, I don't really have any money to pay for that kind of thing.
You don't have to pay me.
Yes, I do. Jonah, I don't want to owe you anything.
You don't owe me anything. You can help me fix it. It isn't a big deal. Do you still have the toolbox?
I don't know.
They should be in the compartment behind the back seat. I bet they're still there.
Jonah goes to open the coach door. No, don't. It was too late. Even if he hadn't seen inside, the odor was too telling. It was obvious to Jonah that Spider-Man was living inside the Imperial.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay.
Oh, come on. I slept in my Cadillac for the first few years of owning this place. You know that. It's okay. It isn't a big deal. Hell, I don't know many bedrooms with leather furniture and a full bar.
I didn't mean that. I meant paying you for the axle.
Why don't you stay with me for a while?
No, I don't need any more of your charity.
It isn't charity. I want to help you. You are my son, after all.
I am not your son.
Maybe not by blood, but I am by law. From what I've seen, laws seem to last a whole lot longer than blood.
Whatever that law was, I'm sure it died along with Gwen. Both men stood in silence. Spider-Man regretted saying that.
Look, why don't you stay here for the night? You can just stay in the Imperial. Think of this as just a new parking spot.
I don't know.
What's to argue? Even if you tried to leave, your car would break down out in front anyway. Might as well stay inside here.
Jonah,
Hollywood can get by without you for a night or two.
What are you talking about?
I saw you on the news.
I honestly have no idea what you're talking about.
I know when you're lying, Peter.
A look of shame replaces Spider-Man's poor poker face.
Besides, I saw the costume in the Imperial.
Spider-Man is too embarrassed to look at Jonah.
It's all right. You can be open with me. Don't feel like you even have to hide from me. We're friends.
I don't know what to say.
Look, you could actually do me a favor. I got a guy who called for a pickup past my bedtime. Why don't you take care of him for me and you can crash here when you're done? Favor for a favor.
Maybe.
Grab a bite to eat. Think about it.
Exterior: Smythe warehouse. 2 nondescript vans pull up to the abandoned warehouse. One brakes and turns off its lights while the other continues to a garage and waits with the engine running. After a brief moment, a garage door opens, revealing a ramp downwards. The van continues down the ramp. and into a hidden facility beneath the city. Inside the facility is a blur of people in white lab coats. The only stationary people are the military guards posted at the entrances. The van continues descending until it finally rests in its designated parking spot. A flock of lab coats gather at the back of the van. Before they can reach the door, a dead body is tossed out of the driver's side door. The scientists scream, but their sound is cut short by the other van that bursts through the wall at the top. It speeds down the ramp, guns ablazing. A few soldiers try to get in a defensive formation, but the Kingpin quickly shoots them from behind. Two of his lackeys exit the back of the van and spray down any remaining soldiers. Lackey 3 pushes an elderly man out of the van. The man's tie has been turned into a gag. The muffled man tries to protest, but Lackey 3 silences him with a hit to the ribs. The Kingpin towers over the crumpled man. This is Dr. Kurt Connors.
Well, now that I have jogged your memory, perhaps you can kindly show me where it is stored. I've had enough of this.
The Kingpin squats to be at eye level with the gagged doctor.
You still think you're in control? Look around you.
The Kingpin forces the man to look around. They see nothing but death.
This is already happening. You can resist us, or you can simply join us. Resisting me doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you stronger. It just hurts you.
The Kingpin crushes the man down, then yanks him back up to his feet. Dr. Connor whimpers.
Him.
One of the lackeys drags the scientist by their hair until he is facing Dr. Connors. The lackey and the Kingpin simultaneously bring their victims to their knees. We can only see the two villains from their waist down, but we know they're there and posing. They frame the two battered scientists. The gagged doctor attempts to mumble apologies.
Who is this man?
The Kingpin points to the gagged, suited scientist.
Dr. Kurt Connors.
And you know this man?
Dr. Connors nods, tears streaming down his face.
What is your name?
Norman.
Well, Norman, if you don't want to die, I need you to tell your friends something, okay? Okay?
The lackey works a yelp out of Norman.
Okay.
Repeat after me. Kurt, please listen to me.
The lackey jabs the wounded scientist as a prompt.
Kurt, please listen to me.
If you don't give this nice man the plutonium, they're going to hurt me.
Please don't.
The lackey twists the wounded scientist even worse. This time it feels like his skin is on fire.
If you don't give this man the plutonium.
His speech was cut short with more twisting.
He said nice man.
I did say nice man.
If you don't give this nice man the plutonium, they're going to hurt me. Help.
Stay here, so
What's that, Doc?
Maybe this will make him talk. The lackey throws Norman to the floor and aims his Tommy gun.
Make sure he lives.
The lackey nods before unloading on the poor scientist. The lackey's face is bathed in the pulsing light of the Tommy gun.
Stop, please. Ah!
The frame is now tightly focused on the kneeling Dr. Connors. We don't see the horrors being committed, but by the look on Dr. Kurt Connors' face, we experience them through empathy, through repulsion. Dr. Connors is glazed in sweat and tears. The liquid shines in the slow-motion violence of the Tommy gun, drumming our ears until the lackey empties his entire clip into the wounded scientist's legs. The Kingpin kneels to the cowering Dr. Connors and removes his gag.
Are you ready to stop fighting?
The doctor nods in horror.
You're making a wise choice, Doctor. Once you see how easy it is, going with the flow, well, I bet you'll look back at this moment and laugh.
The Kingpin turns to face his army.
Take everything the doctor tells you.
The Kingpin fires a shot through Norman's brain to put him out of his misery. He then calmly motions to Lackey 1 to lift the doctor to his feet.
Now, Doc, why don't we take a tour?
Exterior, Smythe Warehouse. A new model town car waits outside the dark warehouse. Despite the abandoned vibe of the nearby buildings, many vans seem to be exiting. Interior, 2010 Lincoln Town Car, driver's cab. Spider-Man is dressed in a chauffeur uniform. He looks off frame, watching the van zoom by. Spider-Man remains in this trance until the back door of his town car opens. Spider-Man sees his fare through the rear view mirror. The bald man looks portly, but strong. He is dressed in a gold suit with a red dress shirt. Somehow he looks familiar. Spider-Man sure hopes it isn't someone from high school turned big shot.
Drive.
Without hesitation, Spider-Man peels away, leaving a cloud of dust in the parking spot. Both men are silent, but Spider-Man continues driving. They exit the warehouse park and turn onto the street. After they are a few yards away, police can be seen, flooding into the warehouse park. Spider-Man continues speed without destination.
You don't ask many questions, do you?
Spider-Man keeps his eyes on the road and just shrugs.
Good. Take me to 1987 Romita Avenue.
Without acknowledgement, Spider-Man makes the correction in course. The men ride in silence for a while.
Thank you for respecting my silence.
Spider-Man makes eye contact with his passenger through the rear view but doesn't say anything. I like you. Spider-Man pulls up to the address and parks. I could use a driver like you. Spider-Man turns, resting his shoulder on the back of his seat. You can talk though, right? Yeah, I can talk. I like the cut of your jib. Take my card. Spider-Man looks at the card and then tosses it out the window. He peels out and speeds off. Exterior jets. Spider-Man navigates the Lincoln into the hole created by the automatic garage door. We enter on a shirtless silhouette of Spider-Man. He has his back to the camera. Even though his head blocks our view of the TV he sits before, we can see that the news is on. They are playing footage of Spider-Man's basketball game. Interior jets, close up on TV. Spider-Man dribbles behind his back and away from his attacker. He uses a crossover to stumble player 2 and then throws the ball off his face, which bounces right back into the palms of Spider-Man. He takes a bound backwards and then bursts into a full sprint right up the chest of player 2. His giant frame supplies Spider-Man a ladder from the free throw line to the basket. The show cuts to a tiny reporter interviewing player 2, close up on Spider-Man. We see Spider-Man isn't even watching the TV. Instead, he's staring at an old photo he has in his lap. Spider-Man holds a full version of the photo that caught his attention on Jonah's wall. The photo shows that the beautiful woman from Jonah's photo is being held by a younger, better-looking version of Peter. Interior jets, close up on Spider-Man. The tears in Peter's eyes reflect the Spider-Man mask being displayed by the TV. With a heavy sigh, he turns off the television, and darkness shrouds the room. Hollywood Hills, skyline shot, morning. As we fade in through smog, we reach the Hollywood sign. Slowly the camera tracks downwards, revealing a subterranean view of Los Angeles. Under all those layers of rock lays a subway tube, the Red Line. A train blows by at breakneck speed. Interior, Metro Red Line. Spider-Man dangles upside down from one of the many railing grips that pipe the ceiling. As we slowly zoom out, we see the wacky bunch of the subway isn't paying Spider-Man any mind. Despite hanging upside down in costume, Spider-Man might be the most human subway commuter. Interior, Metro Red Line, Hollywood Highlands stop. Spider-Man marches up the platforms until he is safe above ground. The sun blinds him until his eyes adjust to the brightness. However, you'd never see his furious squint. The only telling sign is the slow-paced salute he seems to truck forth with. Hulk is chatting with a family he was just posing with until Spider-Man interrupts. Hey, Ferrigno, where's my adoring public?
Excuse me, folks. My arachnid friend over here thinks he's a real hotshot.
Don't be fooled, you guys. He's really just a fat guy covered in paint. The family leaves the two heroes in their beef. Hulk hopes to exit with them, but glumly joins Spider-Man. Seriously, though, where is everyone?
Sorry, pal. I think your 15 minutes have come and gone.
But I haven't even started yet.
You got more attention than most of us are gonna get. You should be happy.
Exterior, Spider-Man's POV across the street. Spider-Man stares at the ragtag Spider-Men. The group is surrounded by tourists. That's it. Spider-Man marches off, storming towards the group.
Hey!
I think it's about high time you guys get the hell off my block. Your block. That's right. I was here first. So what? So what? You got interviewed on TV because they thought you were me. Their crowd begins to disperse. Get out of here. You're scaring everyone away. They wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me. Who does this guy think he is? Who do you think you are? Spider-Man doesn't even yo-yo. Yeah, well, I don't remember him playing basketball either. Sounds like you should have stuck to playing hero.
Yeah, nobody cares about you, asshole.
What did you say to me, Underoos? Spider-Man shoves over the scrappy copycat, but his friends quickly defend his honor. Hulk has to rush over to break up the scuffle. If I catch any of you on my block again, you'll be sorry.
Forget you.
The Hulk's weight allows him to drag the cursing Spider-Man away from the fight.
What was that all about?
I'm sick of pretending to be alive. Spider-Man removes his mask, gives a final threat to the Spider-Man, and marches away from the Hulk. Exterior, Hollywood Boulevard. A downtrodden Spider-Man walks with his head down. He's oblivious to all the tourists snapping pictures of him. His mind is elsewhere, ruminating on the words of the symbiote Spider-Man. Perhaps he was right. A burst of off-screen gunshots brings Spider-Man back to reality. Exterior, convenience store across the street. An elderly Asian man shoots an old pistol in the air as a trio of men in ski masks flee from his store. The crowd ducks down, unaware of the source of the gunshots. The only men standing are the escaping thieves. A trail of money flutters behind them. Exterior, Hollywood Boulevard, cowboy shot. The camera frames the bust of Spider-Man and slowly zooms towards his face. He pulls on his mask and we continue to zoom towards those sewn eyes. We cannot see the man's face underneath, but from the way he stands and from the way his mask's eyes are forever shaped, we can see a look of bravery, a look of determination. Spider-Man runs towards the camera. Exterior, the streets of Hollywood, tracking shot. The camera tracks the escape of the thieves. As they begin to slowly break ahead of the tracking shot, we can see Spider-Man enter the opposite side of the frame. He is gaining on them. The thieves cut across traffic, causing multiple vehicles to smash into one another. Spider-Man is closing in. He hops over a damaged vehicle and continues his pursuit. The thieves dash out of the alley. Thief 2 looks behind them, checking to see if the coast is clear, but someone is still hot on their trail. It looks looks like Spider-Man. Hold up! Spider-Man continues to run full speed at the thieves until he realizes they're no longer running from him. In fact, it looks like they were waiting for him. Spider-Man slows down to an awkward jog. He comes to a complete stop just a few feet from the thieves. What the hell do you want? Yeah, beat it. You robbed that store back there. Thief 2 removes his mask. His face is startlingly gruesome. What are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna kick your asses. The thieves burst into laughter. Thief 2 drops his loot first. The other two quickly follow suit, and then all of them advance on Spider-Man. Interior, fancy restaurant off Hollywood. Classical music swirls over a packed house of well-dressed lunchers. Stimulating debate takes place at every table, until a bum dresses Spider-Man and a few hundred shards of glass fly through the right side of the screen. Interior, fancy restaurant off Hollywood. The camera is framed around the window that Spider-Man was just tossed through. The thieves look in, laughing, admiring their handiwork. They turn and leave. Exterior, fancy restaurant off Hollywood. 2 horse cops arrive on the scene and dismount. Spider-Man lays crumpled and unconscious. He comes to after a few kicks from one of the horse cops. Spider-Man's POV. The camera slowly comes into focus to reveal 2 horse cops standing over us. Hey, you're under arrest, asshole. We fade to black as Spider-Man faints. Exterior, deep beneath the earth of Hollywood. The camera pedestals downwards, tunneling through invisible layers of earth. Darkness continues to envelop the screen. However, as we reach lower and lower, we slip through the ceiling of an underground bunker. The camera continues its journey until it reaches the floor. We are now centered on a perspiring Dr. Kurt Connors. His focus is on a small contraption which he is delicately tinkering with. The doctor jumps when the door behind him swings open. The lackeys enter the room. Lackey 3 greets Dr. Connors with a slap on the back of the head.
What's up, Doc?
All 3 lackeys laugh like hyenas.
I'm almost finished.
You're taking too long, Doc. We're beginning to think you're trying to pull a fast one on us.
I don't think you have a concept of time here.
Lackey 2 swoops up the contraption to get a better look. This causes Dr. Connors to dive to the ground.
Careful! Shut up. He seems serious enough.
Lackey 2 tosses the device to Lackey 1, who hot potatoes it back to Lackey 2.
You're going to blow us all up to kingdom come.
Catch! Lackey 2 tosses the orb onto the lap of Dr. Kurt Connors. Dr. Kurt Connors clutches it to his chest like a mother protecting her baby. I guess your little bomb isn't ready yet, Doc.
You better hurry up. We're gonna need another. A bigger one this time.
Exterior, Hollywood Police Headquarters on Wilcox, establishing shot. The building sits in the shade of many trees. A sign out front clues the audience into what this brick structure is. Interior, booking area. Spider-Man is in the middle of 4 other men. They all stand in a police lineup. The elderly, gun-toting Asian man from earlier stands behind a one-way mirror with 2 horse cops. In the background, the 5 men can be seen.
No, I said none of these. Are you sure it isn't the guy in the blue and red? He's what they call a Spider-Man.
I know who Spider-Man is, asshole. If Spider-Man robbed me, I'd tell you Spider-Man robbed me, but I didn't tell you that. I said men in masks robbed me. Don't you think I could tell the difference?
Well, no.
Horse Cop 2 kicks Horse Cop 1 under the table. Interior, release station. Spider-Man waits in line to collect his belongings. When it is his turn, Spider-Man trades the desk cop the paper number for a tray holding Spider-Man's keys, pager, cigarettes, and Venom wallet. Spider-Man checks his pager and sees he has 2 missed pages. They're from Jonah. Hey, excuse me, sir. Do you have a phone I could use?
No phones for the public.
I thought I was allowed one call.
Calls are for criminals only.
Are you serious? The desk cop just gives him a sour look. Should I go mug an old lady and come back?
You better get, or I'll have you thrown back in here.
Exterior, streets of Hollywood. Spider-Man mopes away from the jail and proceeds to Hollywood. While heading to the location of a familiar payphone, Spider-Man is swarmed by tourists. He swats them away and removes his mask with disgust. I quit. Spider-Man rounds the corner to the usual Hollywood scene. A robbery in progress. Up the street, a thief tugs away a backpack from a teenage boy and begins running down the street opposite of Spider-Man. The boy screams for help. Spider-Man sighs and grabs the payphone, dialing Jonah.
Jameson here.
Jonah, it's me.
Aw, kid, where have you been? I paged you an hour ago.
Sorry about that. I was helping the police with an investigation. Exterior, Spider-Man's POV. We see the backpack thief slow down to a jog, confident he is in the clear.
Well, no matter. I'm glad you called. I got another job for you if you're interested.
Yeah, that's great news. I'm done with Hollywood.
Great. Get down here as soon as possible.
Not a problem. Spider-Man hangs up the receiver and looks over his shoulder one more time, glancing at the thief. A mask of anger replaces Spider-Man's discarded one. He shakes his head. Spider-Man's POV. The backpack thief comes to a complete stop, gawking inside the backpack, marveling at his bounty. Spider-Man sees it coming. The audience sees it coming. Unfortunately for the backpack thief, he doesn't see it coming. The it in question, a 375-pound man covered in green paint, charging down Hollywood Boulevard. Hulk smashes right into the backpack thief, thief, sending the scoundrel into an instant coma. The backpack thief lays plastered into the grooves of the concrete. Hulk picks up the loose items and zips them back into the bag. The crying teenage boy is finally caught up. Hulk hands the bag back to its rightful owner. The teenage boy hugs the bag with relief. Spider-Man crosses the street unnoticed. A small crowd has gathered around the Hulk, including some policemen who thank him and congratulate him. Spider-Man slaps his fat friend on the back. Hulk spins. Hey, I'm sorry I always give you a bad time. You're a hero in my book. Spider-Man turns to leave. See you around. Hulk smiles from ear to ear. Exterior, Jets. Spider-Man is now dressed in his civvies, walking through an alley on the side of Jet's building. His costume is wadded up in his hands. He throws it away in the garbage can outside. The shot is composed as a parody of the famous scene in Amazing Spider-Man number 50. Interior, Jets. Jonah sits in the background, busy on the phone, but greets Spider-Man with a wave. Someone else inside comes up to greet Spider-Man. It is a crippled dog with 2 wheels in place of its back legs. Hey, Aunt May, how are you, old girl? The dog licks Spider-Man's face as compensation for the tickle. Jonah hangs up the phone and jots something down on a yellow legal pad on his desk.
Hey kid, you got here faster than I expected.
Yeah, so what's the gig?
Wilson Fisk, you drove him last night. Seems like you made quite the impression because he requested you specifically.
He did?
Honest, he needs a town car pickup at 3 o'clock.
To where?
He didn't say. Why do you ask?
No matter. Just hoping to stay out of Hollywood for a while.
Everything all right?
Yeah, I could just use a break from all the weirdos.
I could call him back to find out.
No, it's okay, I'll do it.
Great.
Spider-Man changes into his chauffeur uniform and checks himself in the mirror. His reflection looks back at him with sad eyes. The muted television in the background shows a news story covering a break-in at a government weapons facility. Spider-Man doesn't seem to notice. Instead, he straightens his tie and tugs his shirt cuffs even. Spider-Man turns and boards his vehicle and exits the building. Exterior, construction site, establishing shot. A large team of workers is constructing a high-rise building in the center of Hollywood. From the looks of it, the building is nearly complete. If the scum can't be policed out, perhaps they can be priced out. A few men walk by the camera carrying supplies. Others can be seen dangling from the beams in the background, hammering things down. Everyone in the scene wears reflective vests and yellow hard hats, except for 2 familiar faces who enter from the left side of the frame. It's Lackey 2 and Lackey 3.
Hey, this site is closed down. Get out of here. Who died and made you boss?
Lackey 2 pulls out a revolver and shoots a man.
That guy did.
Lackey 2 shoots another man who is dangling on a girder. Death causes the man to lose his grip, but his cable keeps him attached and swinging back and forth.
Or maybe that guy.
Much to the amusement of Lackey 3, Lackey 2 continues to fire at random men who are attempting to flee the site.
Coast is clear.
Exterior, streets of Los Angeles. Spider-Man cruises down the street at a slow pace with his window open. Occasionally, he sticks his head slightly out the window, trying to locate his fare. Where the hell is he? Just then, Lackey 1 runs into the street, causing Spider-Man to brake hard to prevent the Imperial from crushing the moronic pedestrian.
You're late.
Excuse me? Lackey 1 rounds the vehicle and attempts to enter. Spider-Man is confused but pops the lock for Lackey 1. Lackey 1 jumps in.
We better get going.
I thought I was picking up the bald guy.
Yeah, well, I thought you don't talk.
I guess we're both disappointed. Where to?
Anywhere but here.
Up ahead, a police SUV drives slowly until it sees the limousine. The lights and siren atop the police SUV wind and wail as the vehicle changes course and speeds directly in front of the Imperial.
Like I said, we better get going.
What's this all about?
They think we killed the mayor.
Wait, what? A swarm of police exit the SUV with their guns drawn.
Turn off the vehicle and exit with your hands above your head.
This must be some sort of joke. I wouldn't do that. The sight of the driver's side door opening is enough to activate the itchy trigger fingers of the LAPD. Before Spider-Man even has a chance to set his foot on the ground, the limousine is lit up with well-aimed bullets.
Hey!
Spider-Man dives back into the car.
Get out of here already.
Spider-Man listens this time, smashing on the gas. The Imperial bursts forward with tremendous acceleration, causing the police firing squad to do their own ducking maneuvers as they dive out of the limo's path. The tan limousine clips the police SUV and knocks over a streetlight, but after a few seconds of grinding, the car is free. Spider-Man is driving blind until they pass the SUV. He pops his head just in time to swerve away from a couple frozen in terror on the sidewalk. The Imperial flies down the street with a trail of police vehicles directly behind it. Spider-Man deviates course and barrels down an adjacent alley. The police in the lead can't react in time and fly by the alleyway. However, the police in the back in the chase have ample time to make a correction on course and zoom through the alley in a single-line formation. Spider-Man's stress is tangible. He attempts to maneuver around the garbage in the alley, but unfortunately the lane is too narrow. The Imperial slams into debris and sends it over the car and into the lagging police. What the hell did you get me into?
Sorry, pal, we just needed a distraction. For what? For step 3.
What the hell is step 3? Exterior, police headquarters, establishing shot. The sliding glass doors open, revealing the Kingpin, handcuffed. He is led down the halls by an ogre of a cop. In fact, on closer inspection, the police officer seems rather suspicious, most notably the tattoos on his forearms, neck, and face.
Hey, where you going?
The suspicious policeman ignores the question and continues to shove the Kingpin down the hall and towards the cells. Hey, wait a minute! The front desk cop leaves the station and pursues the men down the hall. Now that the front of the station is left unattended, 2 men in black enter the building.
Who the hell are you?
The suspicious policeman uncuffs the kingpin.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry, but my friend here is mute.
What?
The kingpin pulls a gun from his waistband and silences the jailer. The sudden gunfire alerts all the men behind bars. A few policemen run into the room, but the kingpin and the suspicious policeman gun them down.
Hey, let us out of here.
Only on one condition.
Anything.
The 2 men in black enter the room, pushing their giant cart. They open it, revealing a small arsenal.
I need you boys to kill as many cops as you can.
Hooray!
The inmates fight over weaponry and arm themselves just in time for a small wave of policemen coming in to investigate. The inmates make short work of the policemen. After a short pause, the inmates begin to light up the suspicious policemen, rending the kingpin's strongmen into a bloody lump. The kingpin laughs wildly.
Good show.
Exterior, streets of Los Angeles. The Imperial speeds towards oncoming traffic. The trail of police has thinned, but there is still a significant amount in pursuit. Up ahead, 2 semi-trucks clog the lanes. They both flood the air with warning. Spider-Man ignores the honks and manages to slip right in between the semi-trucks. A few police vehicles squeeze through as well, but most are not so lucky, causing a fiery crash that will surely result in one of the worst traffic jams in LA history.
I said head west.
Ah, shut up! Lackey 1 cocks a gun and aims it at Spider-Man's head.
You better start listening to me, pal, or you'll be sorry.
I already am! The limousine jumps onto the sidewalk, barreling into mailboxes, fire hydrants, and street lamps. The wreckage doesn't seem to slow the Imperial in the slightest.
Turn here!
The Imperial makes an erratic turn, nearly running into a brick building on the corner. A police vehicle isn't so lucky, smashing directly into a cornerstone. A trailing police vehicle slams on the brakes to make a turn, but the vehicles behind it crash into it, causing another police pileup. Only 2 police vehicles left in the chase. The busted Imperial still leads the parade. The rearmost police vehicle takes a hard right, telegraphing the limousine's next move. The other police vehicle continues the chase, attempting to bump the rear of the Imperial into a fishtail. Lackey 1 spins around his seat to mock the policeman behind him. The Imperial approaches a one-way intersection, heading the only available way, right. The Imperial blasts through an alley. Just ahead we can see the beach. However, the sight of freedom is quickly obscured. The rearmost police vehicle has now caught up, cutting them off from the exiting the alley. Both police vehicles sandwich the Imperial in place. Spider-Man and Lackey 1 are trapped. The 4 policemen hop out of their vehicles, guns drawn.
Get out of your vehicle with your hands up!
Spider-Man is trembling. Lackey 1 still has his gun pointed at Spider-Man. No matter what he decides, it seems like the end result will be Spider-Man getting shot. Perhaps it is their adrenaline, or maybe it is their anger, but the police no longer have any hope to resolve this situation peacefully. All 4 cops open fire on the limousine. Spider-Man dives to the floorboards again. The lackey lays down in the backseat, coolly laughing. The policemen are still shooting. Their bullets rip through the remaining glass and drum along the torn-up frame of the car. After 32 shots have been fired, there is silence. The policemen pause before reloading, hoping for any sign, any reason to open fire again. Before they can react, Lackey 1 spills out of the vehicle and quickly places 4 accurate shots directly into the skulls of each policeman. He blows the tip of his gun, breaking to the dead bodies. Spider-Man is still cowering below the steering wheel. His driver's side door is opened and he is dragged out of the vehicle by Lackey 1. Exterior, bloody beach alley. Spider-Man finally braves a peek at the aftermath. He sees Lackey 1 standing over him with a triumphant grin on his face.
Look, it's all over, pal. You did good. We got here just in time.
Lackey 1 steps around the police vehicles that block their exit. The dead policemen are draped across the hood. Lackey 1 points to the beach.
Hurry up. You're gonna want to see this.
Spider-Man struggles to his feet. The sight of the dead policemen make him woozy, but he staggers after Lackey 1. Exterior, the Pacific Ocean. A bright light develops from an emerging wave. The wave grows larger and larger as it rolls towards the beach. A thunderous rumbling becomes audible. It looks like a tsunami. Exterior, beachfront. A thick tide of ocean rolls up past the beach, into the street, and straight for the Spider-Man Lackey 1. The water continues its journey eastward. The groin-height water rushes between both men's legs. The lackey wears a smile of childlike wonder. Spider-Man wears a look of fear.
I wouldn't head into Hollywood if I was you.
What the hell is going on?
This, my friend, is step 4.
What are you talking about? Steps to what? Lackey 1 turns to Spider-Man with an ominous smile.
We're gonna nuke Hollywood.
Exterior, Hollywood Boulevard. A parade procession marches down Hollywood. The streets are frozen with rubbernecking tourists. Floats drive by, carrying waving children. Marching bands stomp by, filling the air with music. Children walk by, holding the strings of giant balloons. The parade tramps by a familiar building. It's the exterior of Parker's Pizza. The pizzeria is more packed than we have ever seen it previously. Dumbly dressed tourists stand in line for a hot slice. The crowd is gawking at the television set above. The TV shows a news broadcast. It appears escaped convicts are running amok in downtown LA. The news broadcast is interrupted by a news graphic that announces breaking news.
Hey, turn it up!
We see footage filmed from a beach facing Bank Tower. We can see the tsunami wave roll onto the beach and into the streets of West LA. Appears to be heading into the streets of Los Angeles. We still do not have a confirmation on what has caused this giant wave, but authorities are urging residents on the west side to head for higher ground, most notably east into Hollywood. Exterior, west side. The ocean water continues to surge past Spider-Man and Lackey 1. It is now up to their waists. Lackey 1 gives Spider-Man a pat on the back and a friendly wave and wades through the water. Hey, wait! Lackey 1 continues leaving. Are you serious? Lackey 1 stops at this remark, spinning. He displays his arms. Look around, pal. The vehicles are nearly underwater. The dead policemen have drifted away in the current. Spider-Man still can't believe it. Exterior, waterlogged beach. Spider-Man treads through the water, making his way for higher ground. People can be seen running away from the beach. As Spider-Man makes his way east, more and more people can be seen. It is chaos. Interior, wet office building. Spider-Man walks with the current of the water and against the current of the people. He brushes past escaping office workers. He goes up a floor where it is still dry and heads for the nearest telephone, dialing 911. After a long series of rings, Spider-Man hangs up in anger and tries again. Interior, police headquarters. Telephone rings and rings. As the camera slowly zooms out, we see the bloody corpses of policemen littered around the phone. No one will be answering Spider-Man's call. Interior, wet office building. Spider-Man slams the phone down. Damn it! Spider-Man picks up the receiver and dials another number. Interior, Daily Bugle. A fat oaf in suspenders reaches for his phone.
News desk.
Hey, I got a news tip.
Sorry, Mac. We got a busy news day as it is. Hijacking, tsunami, we even got a small militia in downtown.
Listen, I think these are all related. I think someone is trying to corral everyone in Hollywood. They plan on dropping a bomb on everyone all at once. I don't know what...
Hollywood? What is this, a scam? You think I'm falling for that kind of...
I'm serious. You gotta listen to me. I tried to call the police, but there was no answer. Hello? Spider-Man slams the phone down. Damn it! In frustration, Spider-Man kicks an office chair across the room. He grabs the receiver and tries one last number. Interior, jets. Jonah polishes a limo until a phone disrupts his daydreaming. He jogs to the phone.
Hello?
Jonah, it's me. I know this sounds crazy, but you gotta get out of there.
Whoa, kid, slow down.
Jonah, that guy you had me drive, it was a trick, some sort of distraction. They're gonna blow up Hollywood.
Blow up Hollywood?
I know it sounds stupid, Jonah, but you have to believe me. I saw this guy kill cops. I don't know how much time we have, but you have to get out of town, now.
Listen, kid, I believe what you're saying, but I'm not running from anything.
But Jonah...
I made it through the 80s. I made it through the riots. I'm not turning tail now.
You don't understand.
No, I do understand. I just wish I had a way of telling you that you would understand.
Jonah.
Kid, there have been times in my life where I should have run, but I didn't, and I'm a better person for it. Stronger. If you run from danger, if you run from your problems, then you'll never have a chance to face them head on. They'll always haunt you for the rest of your life.
Jonah, this is a bomb we're talking about.
This is life we're talking about.
You gotta be joking me.
I grew up under the scare of a bomb, only to live my prime under the scare of another. As far as I'm concerned, it's about time.
You're just gonna lay down and die?
I'm not laying down for anything or anyone. Freedom means responsibility. That's why most men dread it.
Interior, wet office building. Spider-Man slams down the phone in disgust. Doesn't anyone realize what's going on? He tears apart the office, flipping over a desk. He falls to his knees, sobbing. He punches the floor, collapsing within himself. He is defeated. Exterior, Hollywood Burger Bar. The Kingpin sits with Lackey 2 and Lackey 3. They are finishing their meals. Lackey 2 and Lackey 3 suck the bottom of their milkshakes.
Well, boys, we better get going. We don't want to miss the show.
The Kingpin's stubby index finger squishes down on an unopened packet of ketchup. The ketchup begins to ooze out of the eyes of the cartoon mascot. Exterior, streets of Hollywood. The air is thick with music, laughter, and cheering. The trio of villains walks towards their black SUV. A man with a heavily tattooed face waits for them in the driver's seat. Exterior, waterlogged streets. Spider-Man wades up to his destroyed Imperial. The water is almost up to the windows. Well, where the windows were until they were shot out. Spider-Man leans into the driver's side window and removes the only belongings he intends to keep, a small photo. Spider-Man's POV. It is the same photo from the night before, the complete version of the photo in Jonah's office. The photos of Spider-Man and his dead wife, Gwen. The flashback sequence is initiated by a camera flash. As the brightness dies down, we can see the Polaroid camera. It spits out an undeveloped photo. A well-manicured hand grabs the photo and gives it a shake. This is Gwen.
Now I want to get one of us in our costumes.
But I haven't bought mine yet. The Spider-Man we see here is much cleaner, much happier looking than the man we have gotten used to during the last hour.
Well, don't get mad, but when I was out the other day, I saw something perfect. I just had to buy it for you.
Honey?
No, believe me, you're going to like it.
Gwen hands Spider-Man a box with a bow on top. Spider-Man is hesitant to look inside. Instead, he stares at his wife.
Go ahead.
Spider-Man lifts the lid of the box and his eyes light up. Spider-Man!
I know he's your favorite.
Spider-Man looks lovingly to his wife. No, you're my favorite. Spider-Man pulls his wife to his lap and gives her a big kiss. Gwen takes the Spider-Man mask and puts it over his head.
You're my little hero.
Spider-Man reaches for the Polaroid photo. The couple admires it together. However, an odd sound rumbles louder, and flashback. Exterior, waterlogged streets. Spider-Man is composed, holding the Polaroid in the same way as the flashback. However, now his wife is no longer there, and his face has changed, weathered, sad, and tired. We see loss in his eyes. The odd rumbling that disrupted Spider-Man's daydream is approaching. Spider-Man's POV. It's a speedboat carrying a small party.
Hey there, bud. Need a lift?
Exterior, Hollywood Boulevard. The steed belonging to one of the Hollywood horse cops relieves itself, dropping hot manure on top of one of the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Stars.
Hey, aren't you gonna clean that up? What are you gonna do about it? Arrest me?
Horse Cop 1 and Horse Cop 2 laugh and right away. The pandemonium on Hollywood is the worst we've ever seen. It makes prior establishing shots look like a ghost town in comparison. Meanwhile, ugly floats and giant balloon carriers flood the street. The traffic is horrendous. A few of the costume buskers, including a few Spider-Men, can be seen. However, the spectacle in the streets overshadow them. All of the tourists' attention is focused on the bright floats and balloons parading by. Exterior, streets of Hollywood. The heavily tattooed driver navigates the Kingpin's SUV around traffic. The cars nearby disagree with the SUV's lack of law abiding, voicing their displeasure with honks. The SUV ignores them and many of the people on the sidewalk. This slow drive continues unimpeded for a few blocks until SpongeBob rolls in the way. The SUV gives him a few warning honks. SpongeBob replies with an extended middle finger. Interior, the Kingpin's SUV. What is the holdup?
There's a yellow square flipping us off.
That's SpongeBob.
Excuse me.
He's a sponge.
That lives in a pineapple under the sea.
Well, squeeze him dry. Exterior, streets of Hollywood. The black SUV continues forward. SpongeBob yells some obscenities, but the words do nothing to stop the SUV. His body doesn't do much in stopping the vehicle either. He is run over. The small crowd nearby runs away in horror, creating an easier path for the SUV to travel. The heavily tattooed driver navigates his way closer to their destination, but someone marches in their path, slamming down on their hood. It is the Hulk.
Hey!
Stop. I know this man.
You just ran somebody over.
The Kingpin exits the vehicle and onto the sidewalk, motioning for the Hulk to come closer.
So, you're a hero now, are you?
Hulk recognizes the man. The memory shocked Hulk so much that his muscles in his face go loose. His jaw and his jowls drop.
Do you know me?
Hulk doesn't know what to say. His mouth stutters silently.
Because I know you. I remember your face. You used to bowl at my alley.
Hulk is speechless.
Why, the last time I saw you, I had my hands over my head, remember?
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
What's that?
I said I'm sorry.
Yes, you didn't help, but it is hardly your fault. What could you have really done? I don't blame you.
I'm so sorry.
Stop saying you're sorry, boy. In fact, I should say I owe you. What? You see, I always knew the world was chaos. I wasn't blind. I struggled for 49 years trying to go against the current. I was wading through the chaos, struggling just to move forward. I held everything above my head, trying to keep it from getting wet. But one day, I dropped everything and it was gone as soon as it hit the water. The chaos washed it all away. I wanted to chase after it, but I already knew it was gone. But the tragedy showed me something in life I never saw before. I could only see it when I was facing the other way.
The camera zooms until it's tight on the Kingpin's face. We can see pure evil in his dark eyes.
It's a lot easier to walk with the stream than against it.
Exterior, streets of Hollywood. The Kingpin draws a golden gun from his belt. Hulk stands whimpering. Guilt, shame, and fear render him dumb.
This may not seem like a reward, but I assure you, this is a gift of mercy. Trust me when I say this. You wouldn't want to be alive if you knew it was coming.
What is?
The end of Hollywood. I'm sending this place straight to hell.
Before Hulk can respond, he is gunned down. Lackey 2 and Lackey 3 burst out of the sunroof and open fire into the crowd. The shells from their Tommy guns cascade off the SUV and spill into the street. They paint the streets red. Similar to the perspective of a first-person shooter, we see the tip of Lackey 3's gun mow down innocent pedestrians. Exterior, streets of Hollywood. The line of fire draws near to a cowering group. If you look closely, you can see someone running into the frame. Look out! Spider-Man dives into the group, knocking them down. The bullets pock the wall behind them, narrowly missing the prone group. Spider-Man is quick to his feet and runs to a dazed red-headed woman, tackling the beauty before she is pegged with bullets. Only keen-eyed audience members will notice the mask and yo-yo leak out of her bag. Exterior, streets of Hollywood, Kingpin's SUV. After emptying their drum clips, the lackeys pop back into the SUV. The Kingpin coolly walks through the bloody street and enters the vehicle. Exterior, streets of Hollywood, low shot. Spider-Man lays on top of the dazed red-headed woman.
Get off me, you creep.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I can handle myself.
To be honest, I was kind of hoping for a thank you kiss. Exterior, streets of Hollywood, Spider-Man's POV. Among the sea of red, Spider-Man sees something that catches his eye, something green. It is the Hulk. Spider-Man runs to his injured friend. Bruce, are you okay? No. Stay with me. You're gonna be okay. I'll go get some help. No. What can I do? Hulk squeezes Spider-Man.
You have to get out of here. Get everyone out of here. They're gonna blow up Hollywood.
Spider-Man turns over his shoulder. He sees the wounded, but he also sees that others are attempting to help the injured. It seems the calamity has washed away the cutthroat nature of Hollywood. Instead, people are flocking together to help one another. When Spider-Man faces his dying friend, his face has changed. No longer do we see the sadness, the loss in his eyes. We see the steely confidence his mask once projected. Rising to his feet. I'm gonna stop them. The SUV continues to creep unimpeded down the street. They are almost out of sight.
Don't. You're not a superhero.
The camera begins a familiar zoom toward Spider-Man's face. Although he no longer has a mask, we see the determination blazing. Exterior, streets of Hollywood, close-up on Spider-Man. You're right, I'm no superhero. I don't need a fucking mask. A non-diegetic song sensibly selected to boost soundtrack sales begins. With that, Spider-Man bolts towards the screen and after the black SUV. Exterior, streets of Hollywood. It's true. Our hero has no special powers. He can't shoot webs, he can't swing from tall buildings, but my God, this man can run. The camera follows closely behind Spider-Man as he runs through the crowd. Despite the distance of the SUV, he is gaining serious ground. Interior, black SUV, driver POV. The heavily tattooed driver spots something odd in his rearview window, an angry man running alongside the vehicle.
Boss, I think we got a problem.
Before the heavily tattooed driver can finish his sentence, Spider-Man sends a boot right through the back window, grabbing Lackey 3 by the collar. The momentum of the SUV allows Spider-Man to easily rip Lackey 3 from the vehicle. The SUV slams on its brakes.
Don't stop, keep going.
Wait.
I said go, damn it.
Exterior, streets of Hollywood. The SUV peels off, leaving Lackey 2 to fend for himself. Spider-Man thrashes Lackey 2. Where is the bomb?
Go to hell.
Spider-Man slams Lackey 2's head into the concrete a few times and lifts him up, showing his friends have deserted him. You're all alone now, kid. They left you behind like garbage.
Go to hell.
The SUV is nearly out of sight. Tell me where you hid the bomb, or you're going to hell with me.
No.
Spider-Man slams him down one more time. Tell me now. Lackey 2 begins to cry. Whatever evil took over him has been overtaken by his youth. After all, he is just a boy. Tell me. Lackey 2 points at an unfinished skyscraper in the heart of Hollywood. It's there. It's on the roof. Spider-Man stands. He turns to run.
Wait.
Spider-Man looks back.
The Kingpin.
Lackey 2 points at a helicopter overhead. It is headed towards a building near the construction site.
He's gonna escape.
The hell he is. Exterior, streets of Hollywood, tracking shot. Spider-Man runs in the direction of the escaping SUV. It is out of sight, but Spider-Man knows where it's heading. Spider-Man's speed is impressive but futile. He won't be able to catch the SUV on foot. Luckily for him, he has an idea. Without breaking stride, Spider-Man leaps onto a newspaper dispenser and runs along various kiosks. Spider-Man launches himself off the tallest kiosk into a beautiful slow-motion jump kick. His victim is not a thief this time. It's a horse cop. Horse cop number 1 flies off his horse, taking down horse cop number 2 in the process. Spider-Man replaces the horse cop on his saddle, flaring the reins into a flipping motion.
Yeah!
Interior, Kingpin's SUV, driver POV. The heavily tattooed driver checks his mirror.
He's gaining on us.
The Kingpin snaps Lackey 3 out of his sniveling with a solid punch.
Do something.
Lackey 3 grabs his Tommy gun and pops out the sunroof. Spider-Man is trailing a few car lengths behind. Lackey 3 pulls the trigger, but the automatic gun just clicks repeatedly. He unfortunately used all of his bullets shooting up Hollywood. He ducks back into the vehicle for Lackey 2's Tommy gun.
It's all a bullet. Hurry.
Lackey 3 grabs the second Tommy gun and bursts out the sunroof again. However, this time Spider-Man is no longer behind the vehicle. Lackey 3 looks down into the sunroof to give his report to the Kingpin.
He's gone.
Hey! Lackey 3 looks over, just in time to receive a punch to the face from Spider-Man. Spider-Man and the horse are alongside the vehicle. Spider-Man strips the dazed Lackey of his machine gun and whips it through the driver's side window. The Tommy gun adds a fresh tattoo on the driver's face. Without a driver, the speeding vehicle swerves erratically and then careens directly into a Hollywood studio. Spider-Man's POV. Despite the ghastly accident, the Kingpin collectedly exits the black SUV. Once his feet hit the ground, he takes off. An injured Lackey Lucky 3 stumbles slowly after him. Spider-Man capably dismounts from the horse and pursues the remaining villains, following them into the Hollywood studio building. Interior, Hollywood studio, on stage. We temporarily cut away from the action of the chase to see a film set about to go underway. A group of actors converse with one another. The stage is wonderfully ornate, and each of the actors wears Victorian-style costumes. It seems the film will be a period piece. Facing the stage is the director. This was a possible Stan Lee cameo. R.I.P. Facing the director, his camera crew, and a producer, they stand around reviewing the script. The producer taps the director's shoulder to get his attention, and then taps his watch. Time is money. The director frowns. He is clearly upset with the producer's presence. All right. Places, people. Interior, Hollywood studio, on stage. The conversing stops instantly and the actors head to their marks. Cameras, rolling, and action. Guess what? People like us, we don't get a chance. But it's not the same thing. All these years I've done my best to make up for that. I've worn this suit, gone out there and put my life on the line again and again, but no matter how hard I try, people die. As if on cue, a fat bald man dressed in a gold and crimson plows through the extras, knocking over the actor. The extras on set are flabbergasted. Limping slightly behind the Kingpin is Lackey 2. But before Lackey 2 is off screen himself, Spider-Man flies down from the rafters swinging on a rope. His momentum drives Lackey 2 straight into oblivion. Spider-Man gracefully ends his swing into a full run, pursuing the Kingpin off screen. Cut! The producer seems ecstatic, turning to congratulate the director. I'm glad you took some of my suggestions seriously. Shut up. Exterior, streets of Hollywood, chase, tracking shot. The chase has spilled into the street. The sidewalks are becoming thick with tourists. The parade is near. The Kingpin barrels through the crowd, but Spider-Man is closing in. The Kingpin looks over his shoulder and sees Spider-Man is almost caught up. In an act of desperation, he reaches into his pocket. Is he drawing his gun? No. It's a wad of cash. Look! Money! The Kingpin tosses the stack in the air, and the wind and the greed of the tourists do the rest. Spider-Man's path is instantly blocked by hordes of men and women fighting over the raining cash. Look out! It is no use. The people swarm around him, grabbing for the cash. The mob shoves Spider-Man out of the way, which in turn causes him to be in someone else's way. He is bouncing back and forth like a pinball. Exterior, Hollywood Tower, establishing shot. Though he looks like an ant, we can see the Kingpin dash towards the Hollywood Tower. Perched on top of the building is the Kingpin's only hope for escape, a helicopter. Interior, Hollywood Tower. The Kingpin's size begins to betray him. He is beyond winded, although he doesn't stop running. He knows that there isn't much time to catch his breath. He hacks and wheezes with every stair he ascends. Exterior, helipad. The door to the roof bursts open. The Kingpin's face almost matches his crimson shirt, which is even darker now thanks to a thick layer of perspiration.
Jeez, Mac, you don't look so good.
He staggers to the helicopter and climbs in.
Fly, get out of here. Yeah, I gotta check the diagnostics first. I said fly, damn it. Listen, asshole.
The helicopter pilot sees the gun at his head.
Oh, go ahead and shoot me. What are you gonna do, fly this thing yourself? You don't understand. Hurry up. I understand plenty. I understand if you shoot me, then you ain't going nowhere.
The helicopter rotor is reaching max speed.
Put away your gun, asshole.
For the first time since he went mad, the Kingpin's meekness overwhelms him. He puts the gun away.
Good. Now untie us. You didn't give me enough time to get us unanchored.
The Kingpin looks confused. He steps out of the helicopter and tussles with the knot.
Hurry up!
The wind ripples through the Kingpin's gold suit. He unties the knot and turns around. He feels someone staring at him. Someone is Spider-Man. Spider-Man stands framed by the roof access door. The sight of his hunter startles the Kingpin. Kingpin stumbles to the floor of the helicopter.
Go, please go!
This time the helicopter pilot heeds the Kingpin's pleas, mainly because the sooner he takes off, the sooner he can get rid of this asshole. The helicopter slowly begins to take off. Spider-Man runs towards it, but the Kingpin emerges from the side door, brandishing his golden gun.
Stay back!
Spider-Man continues his approach toward the camera.
Back!
The Kingpin lets off a few rounds, which seems to startle the helicopter more than it does Spider-Man.
What the hell are you doing?
The helicopter swerves off the building. Despite the nausea-inducing turn, the Kingpin exhales a sigh. He is finally free of his unknown pursuer. Laying on the metal floor, the Kingpin laughs to himself. What a relief. However, from the Dutch angle, we can see something is off. Something is weighing down the helicopter.
Something's wrong. Did you remove the anchor?
Yes.
Something's bringing us down.
We see the helicopter banking hard, plummeting towards the parade on Hollywood. Spider-Man dangles from the loose rope. His legs kick wildly. Perhaps he didn't think this through. Despite the scary angle, the Kingpin braves the tilt, crawling on his stomach to the side door to get a better viewpoint. His suspicions are confirmed. The mystery man chasing him is hanging off the edge. It appears the man is climbing up the rope. The Kingpin turns to the pilot.
You have to do something. Shut up. Why don't you do something?
The Kingpin turns to look over the edge again, but this time Spider-Man has climbed up the rope, pulling himself into the helicopter and giving the Kingpin a hard punch, sending the Kingpin flying to the other side of the helicopter. This fight has allowed the helicopter to even out. The helicopter evens out, and not a moment too soon. Now that they are balanced, the helicopter begins to ascend. The Kingpin and Spider-Man thrash around by using the ceiling grips to free his legs for a savage kick.
Stop it! You're gonna bring us all down!
Who the hell are you?
Me? I'm just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. The Kingpin goes for his gun, but Spider-Man catches the gold shine, swiftly kicking the gun out of his hand, and it slides out of reach. Spider-Man grabs the Kingpin by his golden lapels and lifts him up.
I said knock it off!
Spider-Man looks out the open door, and he returns his gaze to the Kingpin. He is wearing a sinister smile. You got it. With that, Spider-Man flings the Kingpin and himself out of the helicopter.
Hallelujah!
Exterior sky above Hollywood. Spider-Man and the Kingpin tussle as they plunge downward. However, their fall is cut short by a gigantic parade balloon. It is a Spider-Man balloon. The weight of the two men is too great for the helium to support. The balloon collapses inside of itself, drifting hard into the unfinished building the Kingpin's bomb is planted on. A series of onlookers point up to the balloon crashing into the building. The helicopter leaves the frame, and if you look hard enough, you can see that some of the Spider-Men from Hollywood are among the crowd, pointing upwards. Exterior, rooftop. The Spider-Man balloon is torn among the exposed girders. Spider-Man's shoulder has been impaled by an exposed rebar. Spider-Man's injury mirrors the balloon's injury. The Kingpin lays dazed, just a few feet away. After some extended head rubbing, the Kingpin comes to and staggers to his feet. He stands over Spider-Man, smashing the rebar with his foot to trap Spider-Man in place. The bomb! The Kingpin's face is in shock. The bomb! He scrambles across the roof, desperately overturning lumber. When the Kingpin finds the bomb, he sees the timer is cutting down. He yanks the red and blue cable out of the clock, and the timer stops at 5:45. Reference to Spider-Man 5:45, one more day. Exterior, rooftop, focus on Spider-Man. Spider-Man attempts to free himself from the bent rebar, but the agony is too much for him. He screams, trying one more time, but he realizes it is futile. To make matters worse, the Kingpin has returned. Exterior, rooftop, Spider-Man's POV. The Kingpin is beyond furious. He stands over Spider-Man and barks a menacing laugh.
I recognize you. You are the driver.
Spider-Man struggles once again to free himself, but a sharp boot to the ribs causes him to stop.
Well, congratulations. You may have stopped my plans for today, but tomorrow is a new day, isn't it?
Go to hell.
I suppose if such a place exists, yes, I will go there. Save a seat for me.
The Kingpin kneels down and begins to choke Spider-Man. Spider-Man struggles, but it's no use. The pain, plus the weight of the Kingpin, is too much to bear. Exterior, rooftop, Kingpin, close up.
You know, this could have been a lot quicker. If you just had let me shoot you, you would be dead right now. What's that? I can't hear you.
The Kingpin toys with his prey, releasing his grip enough to allow Spider-Man a gulp of air, but then he squeezes that lungful out too.
Hell, you could have been blown up. Think of how quick that would have been. You wouldn't even know it happened. Instead, I have to make you suffer.
The Kingpin releases his grip and watches Spider-Man gag for air. The Kingpin grabs Spider-Man and rips him from the rebar. Spider-Man's scream cut through the sounds of the parade.
Don't cry, this is all your fault.
The Kingpin tosses Spider-Man across the roof like a rag doll. Spider-Man tries to writhe away, but he is too weak. The Kingpin squats over him and begins to choke.
Beg me to kill you.
Please.
Go to hell.
Stop right there. The voice startles the Kingpin. He looks up. The Scarlet Spider-Man has almost ascended this construction site. However, before he is safely on the ground, he slips. He dangles from his ripped costume. Help! The Kingpin laughs and looks back at Spider-Man.
So many half-assed heroes. I'm sorry, but not even your little friend can save you.
Exterior, rooftop, low angle, shallow depth of field. The Kingpin goes in for the kill. Spider-Man's body twitches with anguish. Despite it not being in focus, we can see bright colors moving in the background.
You're wrong, asshole.
A vivid kick comes into focus, viciously knocking the Kingpin off Spider-Man.
What?
A series of familiar costume faces quickly surround the Kingpin. It is the symbiote Spider-Man, high-tech Spider-Man, yo-yo Spider-Man, pajama Spider-Man, and one unfamiliar face. A man even shabbier than pajama Spider-Man. This man wears a red sweatsuit with a crudely drawn spider emblazoned on the front. His mask is simply a black strip of fabric with eye holes bitten out. This is Italian Spider-Man.
Who are you freaks?
We're your worst nightmare. The Spider Posse rains a series of kicks into the Kingpin, rendering him unconscious.
Guys, help!
High-tech Spider-Man and Pajama Spider-Man run to the aid of the swinging Scarlet Spider-Man and hoist him up to safety. Yo-Yo Spider-Man helps Spider-Man to his feet.
So, do I get a thank you kiss?
What? Yo-Yo Spider-Man removes her mask, revealing she is the red-headed woman Spider-Man saved earlier on Hollywood. You?
Yeah, me.
I bet you're glad there are a few extra Spider-Man on your block now. Yeah, sure. Scarlet, High-Tech, and Pajamas join the group. Spider-Man nurses his wounded shoulder and then notices the new addition to the Spider Posse. Oh man, another one?
Hey, lay off. He's a good guy.
Buongiorno. Makes you look better anyway.
You sure got a funny way of saying thank you.
Exterior, rooftop, cowboy shot of Spider-Man. Spider-Man stands with a furrowed brow, but then his face slowly morphs into a smile. He laughs wildly. You're right. Thank you. Thank all of you. That's more like it.
We make a good team, don't we?
Yeah, I guess we do, pal.
Andiamo, abbraccio.
Italian Spider-Man seizes Spider-Man and Yo-Yo Spider-Man, forcing a group hug. Ow, my arm! The Spider Posse stands in a semicircle laughing. Let's get that asshole to the cops. Pajama Spider-Man and Symbiote Spider-Man lift the unconscious Kingpin to his feet.
Well, this is one heavy gone.
Pajama Spider-Man and Symbiote Spider-Man heft Kingpin off screen, leading the way for the Spider Posse to exit. Spider-Man grabs the maskless Yo-Yo Spider-Man before she too can exit. Before she can respond, Spider-Man draws her tight and plants a kiss on her lips. Spider-Man gives her a smile. She smiles back and returns the kiss, only deeper this time. Cue song. Spider-Man by the Ramones. Red shapes collapse around the screen. As they converge, we see it as the Spider-Man logo in stencil form. The negative space, the actual spider, shows the slow-motion kiss until it is proper size, then it turns blue. The logo stays on screen for 5 seconds. Fade to black. Roll credits.